Married at First Sight UK. Episode 16, Part 2. In this review, I have Taya and Adam, and then Morag and Luke. Starting with Taya and Adam. They've gone to Taya's mum's place for the homestay. So we have Taya's mum, Taya and Adam all sitting outside in the back garden having coffee. And Taya and Adam are talking to the mum about how they've spent their time, how they've got on. Everything's been very natural. They've had a lot of laughs and fun. The mum's face, I hardly see a smile. I hardly see a smile out of that woman. Her face is just pure worry. The first thing that comes out of her mouth after they've said all the wonderful things that have happened is, "So you have no reservations?" Yeah. That's what she said. Adam's answer to that was, "We just get on very well. We just seem to understand each other." And then the mum comes out with, "So you haven't argued?" And they said no. And then Taya drops in the L word. She tells her mum that they've already told each other the L word. The mum's like, "Oh, so soon?" Something like that. And then when speaking to the camera, she said she was a little taken aback by them saying that they love each other so soon. Then when speaking to the two of them, her words were, "Well, you don't really know each other." Awkward. Well, you can see Taya was a little bit awkward. Adam, even more awkward. He picked up his cup of coffee so quick just to break the awkwardness. Then Taya eventually answers by saying, "But we do, because the feelings have been so intense." And then Adam follows by saying something like, "I've never felt like this about anyone." Something like that, he says. And then here we go again, an awkward silence. Then when talking to the camera, Taya does say that the thing is with my mum, she is a hard nut to crack. And I could tell that. I could see that already. I think we all can. She also went on to say that her mum wants to see her protected and happy. And at the same time, she did expect the awkward questions today. I will say that I do understand the mum's reservations. I do. It has been very much a quick whirlwind romance with those two. I do wish for it to go well. Fingers crossed. But my question is, for her mum to be quite concerned, it makes me question, when Taya was in Australia with her previous partner, how quick did that romance blossom? That's a question. Was that the same whirlwind romance as well? That was short-lived? I don't know. She then goes on to say to her mum that this is a completely different feeling that I've had in the past with other relationships. And the mum's answer to that was, "Really?" Yeah, just one word. Really? Adam then intervenes and says, "Yeah, it has been a bit of a whirlwind, but we're falling in love with each other." And then they carried on talking about their future plans. And then Taya drops, "Yeah, I'm going to be making the move to Doncaster." Yep. Yes, she did. She dropped she's moving. She's moving in with Adam. The mum's face, again, says 1,000 words. It was one of surprise. And again, we had the awkward silence. Dear, I don't know. Then Adam breaks the ice by saying, "What do you feel about that?" And then she turns around and says, "Are you sure it's what you want?" Of course, they both said yes. But then the mum turned around and said, "I think you need to have a little break from each other, just to sit back and reflect, to see this is what you want." And then Adam said after that, "Then we can make the move." Adam did go on to say that in regard to Taya, he's never felt so comfortable around a woman in the same way he does around Taya. He's been very natural, being himself. With other girlfriends, he's never felt as comfortable as he does with Taya. Then behind that, the mum says, "That's nice." Oh, it just feels a bit sarcastic the way she says it. Oh, it just is awkward. It's awkward. She's not an easy woman to convince. No, 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 no. Even after that, Taya was still trying to sell the mum the dream, the romance, the whirlwind. Yeah, still carrying on. I can't go into detail. And then the mum did say behind that she did have her reservations when they first went for this. She's feeling a lot more comfortable now seeing them as they are. That's really what she did say. So that's a eye-opener. And on top of that, she did say the matchmakers have done a good job of the pairing. Yeah, that's what she did say. I was quite surprised by that one. Fingers crossed, this does work out. She actually ended by saying to Adam, you come across like you're very down to earth. And Adam said, yeah. And then she turned around and said, yeah, I think that's really what Taya needed. You seem very good for her. That's what she needs. So it's like, again, I'm like, hang on, is this the same woman that was frowning earlier? Expression of surprise and everything else with all her reservations. Now she's doing a U-turn. Yeah, same woman. Finally, when Taya was talking into the camera, she was saying she's excited by her mum now being on side with them. Now she can actually relax, look more into the future and be excited for her new journey ahead. Moving on to the last of our couples, we have Morag and Luke. This time round is Luke visiting Essex to meet with Morag's mum and friends. The first thing we saw was Luke talking into the camera about him being nervous in regard to meeting Morag's mum and friends. And as he said, if I don't fit in here, I'm not too sure how far we're going to go in regard to this relationship. Yeah, that's really what he said. And already, my back is up. Because the minute he entered this pub or wine bar, I'm thinking to myself, hang on, you couldn't find anywhere quieter. You brought this guy into this lion's den. There's so much noise. And then you've got this table of girls, Morag, her mum, friends, and then Luke in the middle of this wine bar. They couldn't find a private room for them. You know what it reminded me of? Yes, an episode of Towie. There was no class whatsoever. Like I said, it felt like he was walking into a lion's den. The poor guy doesn't stand a chance. Even I wouldn't want to be put in that position. Don't you friggin' dare. And especially with someone like Luke that's very sort of introverted. Yeah, introverted. Why would you do that to him? Why? Already he's having to put on this armour to try and brave the elements. That's how it feels. Oh God, I've already started. This is not going to be a good one. The first question asked by the girls was, how was the honeymoon? Luke and Morag, they did say it was rocky. Morag did say it was rocky. And they were just getting to know each other. They weren't each other's type. They did explain that bit as well. Then one of the friends, I'm going to class her as one of the most sensible ones out of the three, did turn around and say to Morag, I did tell you that you need somebody that's polar opposite, which is what Luke is. They do have the same sort of core values, which is a good thing. I'm hoping this same girl talks some more sense into her. You could see Luke making an effort, trying to paint a nice picture about the relationship and how good they are for each other. And yeah, the discussions they've had, the arguments they've had as well, but getting down to the nitty gritty of everything. So he's really trying to explain himself. Not too sure why, but he seems to be explaining himself to this one particular one out of the group that comes across like an alpha. Very mannish, very bullish, not feeling her whatsoever. At the same time, whilst Luke's trying to explain himself, I don't see Morag supporting him in any way. Not at all. She's just sitting there watching the expressions of her friends, looking at Luke, but not really intervening to back him up in any way. I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling this. When Luke was talking into the camera, he did turn around and say that he wasn't getting the reassurance that he wanted from Morag in that conversation. He said he's trying to be patient with Morag, but at the same time, he's not sure how much patience he has left. Yeah, that's what he said. And to be honest, as from the beginning, Morag, do yourself a favour. Put the poor guy out of his misery. It was at this point that Luke decided to pull Morag's mum aside to try and get a better understanding of Morag as a person. The first thing he said to her is that, I don't know where I stand with her. She doesn't say anything positive about us or about me. And I need to know where I'm at or where I stand. Yeah, that was virtually the gist of the conversation there. And then he went on to say about the wall that she's built up. Can you see me bringing it down? Is it ever going to come down? Something like that, he said. And then the mum turned around and said, she's afraid of commitment. But once you get that wall down, she is absolutely brilliant. Yeah, that's virtually what the mum said. Then Luke's next question was, do you think she's trying to bring down that wall? But then the mum's answer behind that was, I may be forward in saying this, but you're the son-in-law I would love for Morag. He was actually very happy to hear that from her. But at the same time, she did say to him, don't forget about yourself. Don't forget about yourself. And that she knows it's hard work, but if you can, stick with it. Yep, that's virtually what she said. He said he's going to keep trying, but he wants to know there's something to try for. That's really what he said as well. In the meantime, whilst Luke was having a conversation with Morag's mum, Morag was with her girls having a similar conversation. She was trying to convince herself, listing all the qualities that Luke has, all the positives. He's everything a girl should want, but she's still not there yet. It was at that point, Miss Loudmouth, the friend, spoke up and said, but is the spark there? Is the spark there or not? That's what she said. Before Morag could answer, the friend did turn around and say, you're like me, we're very similar. You have to have that initial attraction, that chemistry, before anything. And again, before Morag could even respond, the next question that came out of her mouth was, have you had sex? Yes, that's exactly what she said. It was at that moment, again with Miss Loudmouth, that I noticed she seemed to be a bit, what's the word? Tipsy. Yeah, because she started getting a bit sort of loud and boisterous, which I thought, not a good look, darling, not a good look. But anyway, in response to the question, Morag did say yes. Yes, we have had sex. And then on the top of that, she did turn around and said, it's incredible when we do. But at the same time, she did turn around and say, but you know what my sex drive is like. But with Luke, it's not there. Yep, that's what she said. to all her friends on that table. Oh, how embarrassing. How embarrassing. Then Morag goes on to say, honestly, guys, I have tried. And then Miss Loudmouth, that's her name, I'm sorry, that's her name, comes out and says, there's only so much trying you can do. I have to agree with her. I have to agree with Miss Loudmouth. Yes, there's only so much trying you can do. Morag then goes on to say, I now have to get to a point whether this is going to work. Aren't we already there? Can you not see it's not working? Like I said, put the poor guy out of his misery. Please do it. The next thing she said was that he had already dropped the L word to her. And he has strong feelings for her. But she doesn't feel the same back. So why are we going round in circles here? Let me breathe. She then went on to tell her friends how he dropped the L word. He told her it in private. Then he told it to a table full of people. Then she freaked out. And now she just feels like running for the hills. Yes, those were her words. She then said that she needs to make a decision. Do I continue on? Am I going to get there? She doesn't want to drag him along and it not get to the point where he wants her to be. For she doesn't want to hurt his feelings any further. She just doesn't know. Now she's asking her friends for the advice. What would you do in my position? It was Miss Sensible that spoke. Yeah, Miss Sensible. She's the one that said, I don't think you should throw in the towel yet. You've got so many positives about Luke. And she's the one that mentioned about the polar opposites, that she needs a polar opposite to herself. And Luke is a person. So not to throw in the towel just yet. There's so many positives. And that the positives outweigh the negatives. And to keep going. That's virtually what she said. I sort of agree with her and I don't. I'm looking at Luke in regards to getting hurt more. The further we go down this route. So Miss Sensible is partly sensible. But at the same time. I don't know. Then it was the girlfriend in the middle. The dark-haired girl. I'm going to call her Miss Simple. She kept it very simple. She virtually said, I like him. I do like him. But I also know you. And if you don't fancy him, you don't fancy him. Yep. Simple. That's all she said. Then came Miss Loudmouth. Yes, Miss Loudmouth. She started the conversation by saying, I'm really sorry to be very brutal. Yes. We all know she ain't going to mince her words. I'm really sorry to be very brutal. She goes on to say, he's lovely, he's handsome, but he's not the guy that you would typically go for. Firstly in looks and secondly in character. She just doesn't know it's going to work. That's what she said. Didn't mince her words. And then she said she wants it to work, which was a little contradicting. Now I'm more confused. Ugh. And then behind that, Morag turns around and says, yes, I want it to work. Here we go. Even more confusion. Do you want it to work? Do you really want it to work? Really? I can't see how. I can't see it. He seems to be putting all the work in. You just seem to be sitting back and hoping you catch up sometime soon. Oh, I don't get it. Ugh. This is terrible. This is terrible. Morag then goes on to say that she needs to have a conversation with herself. Haven't you been doing that for the past few weeks? Or however long this has been going on for? How much more conversation do we need to have? I think you decided from the get-go he wasn't for you. But you just kept going, you kept going, and you kept going. Breaking the guy's heart even more as we go along. Yeah, we can see he's trying, but I don't see it. Miss Loudmouth goes on to say, I think he's amazing. I want you to have the best. But do I think you two are meant for each other? No. Straight up, no. So that was her answer. I just feel that she needs to wave the white flag and surrender. He's not for you. He's not for you. Please don't waste his time. Please don't do it. Put the poor guy out of his misery. After having their separate conversations, both Morag and Luke were back round the table, as well as the mum. And then the conversation continued. The first thing that Luke said was, "What's been happening then?" And then he said, come on then, grill me. Oh God. He's going into the lion's den, he is. This is not looking good. Because at that moment, everybody paused. It was an awkwardness. Painful. And I haven't even started yet. It was actually Miss Simple that came with the first question. How do you feel about Moo? Luke then just went into all the good qualities about Morag. Then, what's her name again? Miss Loudmouth, yes. She came in like a bull in a china shop. Her words were, to Luke, generally, I think you're amazing, but she's an alpha. She needs somebody that's going to challenge her. Someone that's not going to back down. Going to keep her on her toes. And at the same time, she started to stand up when she was talking. So she was trying to get a point across. Oh, this woman, she's an alpha. She definitely is an alpha. She also, like I said, looked partially tipsy. Yes, she did. Because her words were slurring. You could see Luke grimacing in his seat. Once she said that piece, he said, right, let me have my piece. That's a load of BS. Those are the words he used. BS. The point that he was trying to make is that he won't take no bullshit. I've said the words, yeah. He won't take no bullshit. Him and Morag haven't got to that point where they've hit that wall. But if push come to shove, as he said, he's not going to take the bullshit. But Miss, what's her name? Loudmouth, was trying to say, she's going to keep fighting, she's going to keep fighting, she's going to keep fighting. And you're not going to be able to take it. That's really what she was trying to say to him. She's trying to class him as weak. Yes, she was. But just to reiterate Luke's point, in regards to him saying he's not going to take the bullshit, what he meant is that he would walk away. That's exactly what he meant. He's not taking no BS, no bullshit. He'd rather just walk away. Miss Loudmouth continued to fight Morag's corner. Luke turned around and said, but how do you know that? As in regards to the BS and that I won't be able to deal with it. And her words were, me and Morag are the same. Morag sat there, didn't say a frigging word. So you know she's right when she said that. Not a word, not a peep came out of those lips. Not a peep. Then Luke tried to defend his corner with Miss Loudmouth by saying, but you don't know me. You generally don't know me. But then Morag, yes, Morag, decides to pipe up. Yes, she did. Her words were, but she knows me. Yes, that's what she said. Morag said, but she knows me. Are you trying to make this guy look what? What you trying to do? What are you trying to do? Make him look like a freaking dickhead? How small did he look at that point? How embarrassing is that? That was absolutely humiliating. Absolutely humiliating. Poor Luke, man. Oh dear. He was already walking into the lion's den the minute he stepped into that place, let alone amongst all those girls. Oh my goodness me. Please. Run. Run as fast as you can. Get the hell out. When Luke was talking into the camera, you could see he was fuming. He was fuming. He was saying that he feels like an absolute mug. Yes, feels like a mug. He said he's had Morag's back all the way through this process. And that not once did Morag have my back tonight. Not once. And I really don't care what her friend thinks. Shortly afterwards, we saw him go back into the lion's den. Is this man mad? Oh, I would have took the first Uber home. This guy went back in to fight his corner. He was still trying to convince the rest of the table that he is what Morag needs. You know what? Me, I would have thrown in the towel. The next person you heard speak was Morag's mum. She actually opened her mouth and was defending Luke's corner. Yes, she was. She actually called her daughter spoilt. Yes, you are. You got everything you wanted. Yes, she did. That's how she was talking. She wasn't mincing her words. She said it as it was. She said she's had to put up with her daughter's 30 plus years of sportness. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Oh God, this is too funny to watch. Yes, she did. Put her in her place, she did. And then Morag came back to say, but Mum, I know you know me, but my friends know me. I could get what she was saying. I did. But then the mum turned around and said, but I'm the one who has to deal with your shit boyfriends. The shit boyfriends you keep picking. Yeah. Mummy's got a point now. Yeah. You don't pick well. And Miss Loudmouth doesn't help. The last words of the evening came from Luke when speaking into the camera. He said, why am I fighting something that she doesn't want? Yep, those were his words. Why am I fighting something she doesn't want? And then he said, I want to go home. I want to go home to people that like me and love me for who I am. And then it was, mic drop. I'm done. Yes, I'm done. Well, we're just going to wait and see what happens next. And on that note, I'm going to leave it here. If you like what you heard, please like, comment and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.